Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA update. Tonight, I'm currently diving into Enjin. People might say to me, why are you looking at altcoins at the moment? Bitcoin's not behaving. We're in a bear market, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I understand that. And I do think that there is more negative price action to come. Do I think that there might be a relief rally for Bitcoin and will alts pick up a little bit first before that? Potentially. So I'm going to look at some aspects here on different alts as well and stay doing TA updates for altcoins, because it'd be nice to find the lows for these projects as well and potentially get in at some really good areas, because when the bear market low does come for Bitcoin potentially, alts are going to suffer brutally like they already are, but it's going to offer generational wealth opportunities within the crypto space, I believe, for the long-term potential future, so just looking at Enjin here, okay, this is on the weekly time frame. You can see that Enjin from the March 2020, okay, had a massive why is that not working? Sorry guys, I'm just having some difficulties. 1 second. Refresh the page. See if that makes any difference. Okay, yes it does. So, sorry, please bear with me. Just get rid of these. Right, okay, let's get into this. So from the on the weekly here, from the March 2020 lows, okay, this is where we got back above the EMAs and Enjin held the EMAs here and we was in the bull market, okay, and this was in January 2021, and you can see that I had a massive impulsive move, okay, to the upside, and it came up here and it created something called a massive bearish divergence, okay. You had a high here and a lower high here, okay, and this high was higher than this high. Okay, so that's called a bearish divergence, and within that you can see that from the all-time high, okay, this is where you was caught in this sort of rising wedge, right? Okay, and now you've lost the rising wedge support, ran into that as resistance, created a death cross on the weekly and been rejected. Okay, and a lot of alts have done this similar sort of price action. Okay, so if we zoom in here a little bit to current price, okay, and have a look at what's going on here, I'm just going to get the RSI off at the moment. So here on the weekly, this is on the weekly time frame, okay, what potentially Enjin has done right now has come back to its foundational level of support, bang on. Actually, it's wicked off that support in the previous last year in May, okay, which was the first sort of point of contact for this trend line of this rising wedge that you was caught up in between and you've now lost, okay, and you've fallen back basically in a reversal wave to this previous last year summer support. Okay, so is this the correction over? Are we going to start to see momentum here and start picking up? These EMAs are going to start to come down, okay, and if you start to come up and attack those are going to be key resistance above your head, and that could indicate whether you are creating lower highs here in the bear market structure, and you're going to start rolling over potentially. So some targets that I'm looking for Enjin here. So we're going to go from this, because I believe, look, from this all-time high, okay, you came down to a low here and then you started retracing, okay. If we look at where we started retracing to from that low to the all-time high, we ran into the 0382, okay. We ran into the 0382 here, okay, so you can see we came down, ran into that, came down, ran into it again, and we lost support, okay. We lost support and we rolled over back to this low. So right now, again, if I just look at this, potentially where our lows are, you can see that right now we're landing, and actually this week would be nice to see a close on the 1618, which again is this area of support cluster that we had back in last year, 2021. Now this is where I potentially am expecting some sort of relief rally if Bitcoin does behave, and you could see altcoins start to pick up a little bit here, but as I mentioned, I don't think that necessarily is going to be the end for this correction. I think we potentially could be coming back down to these lows back here in 2020, and let me just show you why. For example, so if we go from the all-time high down to the correction which we was retracing from, so we came to this high, we retraced, and we was retracing back to this sort of low area, okay, but we found support on this swing high here. We came up, we created a new all-time high, okay, and then we was retracing back to this low, Okay, so retracing back to that low has now been successful, and we've actually retraced back to the low. Okay, so we broke out, came back, broke out again, and now we've rolled back down straight to where we basically came from. Now on the weekly here, it doesn't look too friendly, and I'll show you why as well. Another pattern that's in play, or you've got this sort of neckline of a head and shoulders here. Okay, and that technical target would bring you back down to, again, this area here, which is a technical target from, wasn't it? No, not that one, sorry. From the all-time high back down to the summer lows down here. Okay, you can see that sits at the 1272 at 0.445 cents. Okay, and that is that cluster support right here. So if this low is lost, you know, your next support on the weekly is down at these levels at 44 cents. Okay, which is still, I think, about a 40% correction or so, isn't it? Yeah, about a 46% correction, which I'm seeing on a lot of altcoins. You know, because we have to bear in mind. Look at this insane run that these projects went on. Okay, the Enjin appreciated 14,516%. Okay, so you know these projects don't go up forever. What goes up must eventually come down and find a level of foundational support. Okay, and I was blind to this in the past. You know, if you check previous videos, I was saying we're going to come up here, we're going to hold, and that's it. We're gonna be off. Okay, but in my eyes, you know, once we start losing these lows here, if we start losing these lows and turning this into resistance, you know, your next target is the next level of support, which is back down here, as I said, at the 44 cents. The technical target of that, the inverse head and shoulders, sits right down at that level. Okay, and then if you lose that, then you've got this. You can see that this is your foundational support. I'm gonna get a horizontal line in there, so you've got, it's around that level. Okay, the support, it's around this level, which is going to act to support somewhere between this range. And then at the moment, the only support we're hanging on to by the skin of the teeth here for Enjin is the summer lows of 2021. So you can see that's the low support. You've come down to that now. If you lose that, your next technical target is somewhere between this range here, because it's this cluster of support, which is the head and shoulders pattern, which lines up bang on with that. Okay, so getting this in there and bringing that down, it kind of lines up right on that level of support. Okay, and if that is then lost, okay, so if you come down to that target and say hit your head, you know, your next target is down here at 21 cents, which is the level of resistance that we need, that Enjin broke out of before and actually started. It could be a massive reversal wave back down to the 2020 lows. Okay, and the April, look, from its inception, it came up, it created some sort of cup and handle, broke out, retracement to that level. Is that on the cards? It is. And just to go through that again, just to make that clear. Okay, sorry I'm dragging this out. Okay, so again, you've got this level here. Okay, from, look, you can see it was a massive cup. It came back in a handle. Okay, and it broke out that resistance. Okay, but at this level, at that level, you can see on the weekly, it didn't actually backtest for support here at 22 cents. Okay, it came up, it held support on the 20 EMA, and that's where it exploded. Okay, and then it was holding the EMAs, bearish divergence, rising wedge. Okay, you've lost the rising wedge and are now retracing. At the moment, you're holding the 2021 lows of summer. If you lose that, as I said, you've got this cluster here, but primarily this could be a key target. Okay, because then you're coming up and you're basically rolling back down to that for support, founding your foundation and getting continuation onto higher highs. Okay, because as I said, it's not going to go up forever. Okay, it must come down, and that's with all sort of projects. Every project in crypto, you know, corrections and bear markets are features of crypto, and there's something we need to get used to. If we can't deal with the market at its worst, we don't deserve it at its best. So, you know, we have to keep that considered. None of this is financial advice, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for dragging out the content so long. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I'll see you next time. Much love from Chartner TA. Peace out.